Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a weekly message from Jesus. Each week, I try to bring you his words. Each week, he brings you words of faith, of love, and advice. So please tell your friends about it. I think that they would thank you for it. So, our Father's here, and let us begin. Good morning, everybody. Each week, I try to come to you with a different message. Each week, I try to impress upon you the importance of believing in me. Each week, I try to impress upon you the importance of trying to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So this week, I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to compare a human life to an insane asylum. Yes, you heard me right. Let's see how this one goes. Is it not insane not to believe in me? Everything indicates that I exist. It is only those that cannot see the truth that believe otherwise. Now, people that are in an asylum are there for mental care. Think of the message that I bring you each week as mental care. I try to show you the logic of my existence. Hearing my words is apparently not enough. Many people will refuse to listen to the messages that I bring each week, and it's very sad. I try to do my best to let humans understand that there is only one true way to heaven. Why would an individual try to follow evil instead of trying to follow common sense and love? To me, that person's made an insane mistake. I try to treat them, but they refuse treatment. Many people act like they are insane. They're mean to other people, they're nasty. They treat people in a manner that they would hate to be treated themselves. They act a lot like they have mental problems. You see, mental problems, they're nothing to joke about. Many people have terrible depression, they suffer. Many people are drug addicted, and addiction is a mental problem. So I'm not trying to make light of the fact that there are people with these terrible mental problems. Some can be treated, and some it's very difficult. Some people can't be treated, sadly. They've let their mental problems get out of control, and there's very little that the professionals can do for them. Many people have let their spiritual lives get out of control. They've done many things against my words, and they've reached a point that even I cannot change their minds. I think that that's also a pretty serious mental problem. Why is it, do you think, that people will not listen to me? I'm not asking you to do anything out of the ordinary. I'm asking you just to do what is right, to help others, show love, coexist, do all the things that would make your life so much easier. And then people go out and do the exact opposite. I think it might be a mental problem. I don't know what to do about it. I do my best. Barry does his best. All my angels, my spirits, my guides, everybody does their best. And humans still refuse to accept the advice that they're given. All a human has to do is ask for advice through prayer. We'll come to you will do the best to influence you and make the right decision. Many people won't even ask for help. Their egos are so great that they know it all. They think they know it all, but they know so little. You've heard Barry say many times that the more you know, the more you realize how little you know. You're not going to know anything until you return home. What a human life learns is a small, small amount of the knowledge that will become available to them when they return to heaven. I intentionally want each person, when they're born, to start from zero information. I want them to gain information throughout their life, and I want them to use that information to provide them knowledge. Many people cannot understand that concept. There's a huge difference between information and knowledge. I speak of that repeatedly. Many of the people that you think have consider themselves great intellectuals have information, and they feel that that information leads them away from me. Well, it doesn't. Hopefully, the information would lead them to me. When people believe that it doesn't, they're fools. When people believe that information that I give them leads them to evil, then those people, they should find an asylum. They need mental help. I try to give it to them. If I can't help them, who can? So you see the conundrum. People gain information, think they gain knowledge, and turn away from me. And that is a terrible thing. Each week I tell you that the key to the future lies with the young. They have to be given information that leads them to me. They cannot be told that there is proof that God does not exist, because that's a lie. Probably the most terrible lie they'll ever hear. You see, I really do exist. I've done many things through the years to prove that to you. I even returned to Earth as a human. I lived a life as a human to prove that God exists, that heaven exists, that there's much more to life than all of the riches, the trappings of wealth. That is that is just simply a blessing that I allow you to have to see how you react to it. Many people react to great wealth terribly. I speak of that often. One of my great goals is to have you help others. There are many, many people out there that need help. Poverty is a terrible thing. There are countries where people go to trash heaps to try to find food. Poverty in the United States is not as bad as in other countries. You have a wonderful standard of living here, and even the poor of your country are far, far better than those living in poverty in many of the other countries. Look at what people go through in Africa that are poor. It'll wake you up. You cannot believe that people can live in such abject poverty. And yet there are people with 3 or 4 yachts, 7 or 8 homes, and they look down at those poor people and they say, "Sorry, I've got the money and you don't." Well, Many of those people that live in abject poverty also live pretty good lives. And when they return, they can look at those people that had the yachts when they come back and they can say, "Ha ha, I believed in God and you didn't. Now, how do you like those apples, buddy? You could have helped me, but you chose not to." When you make a decision like that, it's insane because you're assuring that your judgment is not going to go the way it should. You could have used that wealth to help others, and it would have had you advance greatly in the realms of heaven. Instead, you chose not to. And now you're at a lower level of heaven. Tough beans, buddy. You made your own decision. People, humans in particular, have a knack of doing the wrong thing. I put evil on this earth for a reason. It's a test. Every human is tested by evil. Every day they're tested. You can make a choice for evil, or you can make a choice for good. It's insane to choose evil because there's nothing going to come of it. What'll come of it is you'll hear about it when you return. And many people, they think they're so wonderful that they're never going to pass. They're never going to die. They're always going to be able to enjoy the great wealth that they made. Well, it's another huge mistake. There will be a time of your passing. You won't know when it is, but it's coming. Those of you that believe in me will not fear it because you know you'll be coming to an incredible place. Those that have squandered my blessings, you should know that you're coming to a wonderful place too. But it's not going to be as wonderful as it could be because you squandered those blessings. You made a bunch of insane decisions throughout your life. Could be very simple. Simplest decisions you'll ever make is to help others, to live the best life that you can live. You see, I know everybody makes a bunch of bad decisions, but that's life. I understand that. And I do not hold bad decisions that are made without malice towards me or malice towards others. If you hurt someone, then you're going to be held responsible. There are many ways to hurt people. I understand all of them. And your guides understand all of them. And how you hurt others will be a topic of conversation when you return. Keep that conversation short. It's insane that you would make decisions to prolong that conversation because the longer that guide has that conversation with you, the worse it's going to be for you in your judgment. You see, I have 7 realms. The upper ones are incredible. The lower ones are not as good. They're still good, but they're not as good. You want to be in the upper realms. You want to make decisions that help others, and through that, you will make decisions that help yourself. Every time that you make a decision that helps evil, you are showing a type of insanity. You see, you know evil. Evil can be very obvious to you. Why would you choose something that is going to destroy your time when you return to heaven? Think about this. Those that have great wealth and do not share it will, in all probability, when they return, live a life of poverty. You don't want to do that. You want your life plan to lay out many blessings for you. Your guides will take into consideration how you live this life. If you made a bunch of insane decisions and followed evil, your next life is not going to be as pleasant. You need to return. You might be saying to yourself, oh, well, I'm just not going to come back. Well, you have to reincarnate to advance. If you're placed in lower levels, you'll be very displeased, and you will be forced to reincarnate. You will need to pay the karma for what you do. So, once again, I want to thank you all for listening. I bless each of you. I bless everyone, but I especially bless each of you that show the sanity to follow my words. Go out and do good. Life's that simple. So, thank you. And we will be back again next week with another message. So thank you very much. I see that I forgot to turn my phone off, so we'll say goodbye.